Hi. All right, guys. I'm getting all set up. Again, I have to remind you that I do not know how to use this new Facebook, but that's okay. I only see one viewer at the moment, so I think I'm okay. I think the only person who's here is my prop person. So that's not a bad thing, really, all things considered. Welcome to Jaws Day. I see now there's a few more people joining in, two more. There we go. Everyone's starting to come on in. Come on in. The weather's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. The beaches are open. If you know what that's from, that's a famous line from something. Jean Marie, hi. Oh my gosh, Jean Marie, I haven't seen you in so long. I hope you're well. I hope everybody is doing okay over there. Um, Hello, Denise. I'm glad to see you always, you know. Okay, so it looks like we've got 4 or 5 people coming in now. Just so you know, I can never see who it is that's on. So I don't know why that is. I see that there's a bunch of people coming in that are watching, but I can never really tell who the people are that are joining us. So there's Michelle, and I am sure that Emma and Alexa are also here. So I'm sure you guys are in the pool having a wonderful time. I'm wearing my lucky bracelet. So wait, what's that? Look at that. Why, it's a little Jaws movie poster. Oh, I think as viewers know, the globe is on underneath this. But for today, hello, Kathy. Mwah. For today, it's Jaws Day. It's Jaws Trivia Day. So more people are coming in. Yes, today's the day. I have a special guest that will be here soon. This guest is truly going to be a fish out of water. That's all I'm going to say about that. So if you stick around, you might get to meet my new friend. I want to welcome more people. Emma and Alexa, hello. Big Bill, if you're watching, hello. Dave, I'm glad I got to see you this morning. Thank you for that special delivery. You're awesome. Couldn't have done it without you. So I appreciate it. I also want to say that welcome to everybody who's coming in because it is Jaws Day, Jaws Trivia Day. I am going to, because you don't want to put bottles and cans on the beach, Shannon, you have to drink out of the coconut because you don't want to be a litter bug. So I'm going to use my Merrick Library swag. Wow, that is good. And after this week, I'll take anything the coconut is giving me. So y'all have a sip. So 9 people, maybe a little more. Like I said, I can't see everybody who's here. Miera, watch out, it's Jaws Trivia Day. So I wanted to give a shout out to all of the Merrick Library patrons. Just so you know, curbside pickup is fully in swing. Please go to our brand new website page. Well, brand new, it's a few weeks old, whatever. You can get all the details there on how to arrange for curbside pickup. It is not Outback. You cannot get a bloomin' onion, although if you did, you would see me there every day. But we do other things, right? You pick up your books, your videos, DVDs, whatever, children's books. We've got an amazing collection, as most Merrick patrons know. So for sure, check out the website so you can access, or you can also subscribe to our newsletter, which is an amazing newsletter. And it always looks beautiful every single week. And that gives you all of the latest and the greatest that the Merrick Library has to offer. So that's what I would do. I would check that out immediately. And the reason you're going to want to get your curbside pickup is because it's summer reading. So you got to get on this. You can register, I believe, from our website. You can register, I believe, from Facebook. There's a couple of options for you to register for this. I don't know if you can see all that. But we're going to help you choose some books today because today is not only Jaws Day, but Scare the Shark Out of Your Day. So give me in the chat books that scared the shark out of you. I have to be very careful when I say that as the hour progresses because I could say the wrong thing. So good luck to me on that. So you're going to want to imagine your story, sign up for summer reading. We have an incredible turnout already. There's a lot of you that have signed up, and I strongly suggest you get on board with this. And if you're looking for something to add, besides the scary books that we're going to provide you with before we get started pretty soon, we're going to have our quiz and our special guest who is truly a fish out of water. So hang on for that. You're going to want to, again, my printer, the only woman in the room is the book discussion this coming Wednesday with me on Zoom. And if I say the wrong thing, it'll be muted on YouTube. Really? Oh, I wonder if I should test that out. Don't even put that in my mind because that's just a challenge. I don't know that we want to do that. Okay, so book discussion this Wednesday. You can register on our event keeper, go into the calendar and look for July 1st. And you can just get an invitation and you can hopefully do that, which will count towards your summer reading. If you don't know what to read and you're looking for something, you'll be there. Yes, please. We don't have access to our staff picks. I strongly suggest you go to our Pinterest page because on our Pinterest page, you can find links right to our podcast page, which is amazing. And you can listen to the podcast interviews that we have going. And also books that you can read, choose for your kids, for your young adults, for your adults. It's great. I love it because if I get a phone call at work and we are taking some phone calls, between 1 and 5, I can actually recommend that they go here to look for books if they're not sure, what to find. So there's that. It's coming. Also today, I don't know if you knew, Billy's Boredom Busters provided everybody with a pretty fabulous craft. And I think that craft, so check that out. That's also on our Facebook page. And hey, you know what? I haven't seen the tiger. Has anybody seen the tiger today? I've said, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's getting close to that time. Do you hear it? I don't hear it. I was going to play the music, but I didn't think it was going to work. So look, there it is. It's that time. It's almost quiz time. Not only is it quiz time, but it's get ready because here he comes. Danger. This is what Billy made in his Boredom Busters. And just like he made the gauntlet planter, I had to be convinced to return it. I don't know that I'm returning this one. The reason I don't know that I'm returning this one is because I am such a Jaws freak, a Jaws lover, all things Jaws, just so you know. I actually bought myself a few years ago, mint in the box. I haven't worn them yet. These beautiful Converse sneakers, and I had them painted. Isn't that great? I just love them. So my kids and my husband are like, you have to wear them, you have to wear them. So maybe I'll wear them and walk around with this. And I don't know, maybe I'll put in a cameo with the curbside pickup and I'll be, yeah, I mean, is this amazing how Billy did this? That guy, he's a great coworker, great staff member, and so talented. I almost did something to test test how well YouTube mutes me if I say an inappropriate word, but I'm not going to do that. So yes, that's this. And now I think it's time to start. Isn't that amazing? Look how gorgeous that is. And if I had known that he was that talented when I bought these sneakers and had them custom made, I just would have had Billy do it for me. But no, and it's double-sided, so. And I know this looks like a giant shoe. Does it look like a Michael Jordan size shoe? I'm a size 9. So if anybody wants to buy me, fancy shoes, size 9, and maybe you'll see me wearing this over the summer. Maybe when I go in a few days this week, I'll wear them. I don't know, but I kind of like them. They're so perfect. All right, so I think it's time to get our first question going. And our guest will be here soon. Like I said, he's a fish out of water. So, okay, are you ready? Here's the first question. First of all, let's start things off the way we're supposed to. Capri Sun, right in here with my fabulous Merrick Library straw. How great is that? And then, oh, that Capri Sun. After this week, I don't think there's enough, but I'll find it. Okay, everybody, if you're playing along, put your comments in the comment tab. I don't know if my dad is watching, but he is also a very big Jaws fan. So I'm going to start our first question. Okay, ready? Who wrote the 1974 book, Jaws? So Jaws was book, 1974. People started reading it. It had the same kind of effect as Silence of the Lambs. Everybody went crazy when that book came out. The same thing. Remember Silence of the Lambs when that was a book? Everybody went nuts for that. Everyone was passing their copy around. So Jaws was the same thing. It became this blockbuster bestseller. Was it written by Roy Scheider? Was it written by Peter Benchley? Or was it written by Joe Bezo? So those are your Mary Jean, I didn't see you come in. Oh, hi, Mary Jean. Okay, so you've got three people. Who wrote the book? Was it Peter Benchley, Roy Scheider, or Joe Bezo? So, as you put your comments in, I'm going to start with the books that scared the shark out of us. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you searched our Merrick Library Facebook page, but Reader Services librarian Shannon Meany and Billy, yeah, and Billy Falcon put together the most amazing slideshow to advertise today. And I only wish I had thought to do it earlier in the week because then more people would have, wanted to get involved. And wait, I think our guest is here. But before I let him in, let's see what everybody said. How come no one chose Joe Vizo? I don't know why. You get extra credit if you know who Joe Vizo is. You get extra credit. So the answer, and it could be Joe Vizo. My guest is waiting, so I'm going to have to go get him. But if you will get extra credit if you know who Joe Vizo is. And the correct answer is, of course, Peter Benchley. Yes, Billy, you got it right. Yes, so Peter Benchley was the author of Jaws, and as he said later on after the movie came out, is that he would not probably have written it because of the stigma that attached to great white sharks because of the book. And because it was so beautifully handled by Steven Spielberg, the director. And yes, Joe Vizo, who could have been the author of Jaws because he has seen many great whites in his fishing career, is my dad. So, Dad, if you're watching, mwah, love you. Look, Dad, look what I did. So, you know what to do. If you got the answer correct, and if you didn't, it's okay. There is plenty to go around. So I'm going to go get our special guest. You ready for this? Like I said, he is a fish out of water, and he couldn't wait to be here today. So I'm going to have to go get him because it's very hard for him to move through the doorway and get in. So I'm just going to move my chair. So hang on. Come on, friend. Come on, friend. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Here he is. There he is. It's Hammy. Oh, it's a Hammy. The 6-foot hammerhead. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Let's see. Oh, we got to get him in. Oh, he made it. Ta-da. Here, can you see him? Hammy the hammerhead. Wait, here, look, he's looking right at you. See his eyeballs? Hammy the hammerhead. I'm so glad he made it. Oh my goodness. There he is. Let's get him comfortable. I don't know how long he can last without water. He is about 6 feet something. I am about 5'3". So there he is. And he's wearing a t-shirt that says Shark Week's 30th anniversary. So Shark Week, by the way, is August 8th or August 9th of this week. You know where I'll be because that's very close to my birthday, and I'm very happy every year that Shark Week takes place right around my birthday, which may be an upcoming quiz question. But in the meantime, here's Hammy the Hammerhead. Isn't he beautiful? Very beautiful. So I'm going to leave him here, and he's pretty awesome. He's just amazing, and I'm so glad you could be here today. So everybody give a shout out to Hammy. And I also have an amazing group of prop people that you have no idea where they come from. Also, what's that little picture that they add to the YouTube? I forget what they call it to announce what the episode is. If there's a picture of me hugging, that should be the, I forget what they call it. It's either a tile or something along those lines. So let's see if I can get him in just right. Oops, maybe you don't want to see those other things in the background. Oops, those are my Capri Suns. So I'm going to try to sit over here to allow for Hammy and his cameo. And I hope I can trust the other beverages right there. All right, so thumbnail. Thank you. See, that was never going to happen for me. Never, ever going to happen for me. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Denise. It wasn't just not going to get there. It's Friday and thumbnail was not happening. I'm just happy I didn't look like this morning. Somehow my hair managed to stay in place. Okay, so the next question, and then we're going to get to books that scared the shark out of me and people that I love at work. What year was the movie Jaws released? The movie Jaws was released in 1975, 1976, or 1977. So can you see Hammy back there? I'm going to try to make sure you can see him. Maybe that's a little better. Okay, so 1975, 1976, or 1977. First up, books that scared the shark out of us. And if you are looking for something to do your summer reading contest, challenge over the weekend. Oh, goodness gracious, I keep losing my, here it is, yay! Ta-da! Imagine your story. Although I don't think you'd want to be imagining your story in some of the scary stories we've got coming up. Oh my gosh, here we come. Janet, I didn't know you were here. Hi. Look at all these friendly faces. You guys are awesome. Not you, Hammy. You're always a friendly face. So yes, you stay right there. Truly a fish out of water. You see what I did there? He's like a fish out of water. That's all I got, really. I will give you the answer. I have the exact date, actually. And what do we got? 76, 75, Jean Marie, Kathy, Janet, Billy, Michelle. The answer is, because of course we just celebrated it, the anniversary, the 45th anniversary, June 20th, 1975. 1975. So if you got it right, have a little Capri Sun or whatever you like. And if you didn't, if you got a different answer, it's fine. Maybe you saw it in 76. Maybe you saw it in 77. There's no judging here. This is a judge-free zone. Okay, I'm going to do the first thing. Shannon, fabulous librarian and reader services. We just love Shannon to the moon and back. The book, a couple of books that scared the shark out of her is... Here she is. Got it. Ready? Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary. What a crazy book. Here's what I love about Pet Sematary. I'm going to try to get this close to you. 1983, it was a bestseller. And here's the backstory for Pet Sematary. Stephen King was renting a house near the University of Maine. He was a writer in residence at the time. course I would know that because Stephen King. And of course, the house was very close to a cemetery because where else would Stephen King live? While he was living there, his daughter's cat was sadly and tragically hit by a truck along the road. And then King later on imagined the same week after he talks about this in a really candid interview, a very interesting interview, but he imagined what would happen if a family suffered that tragedy, but they could bring the cat back to life, except that the cat would come back fundamentally wrong. Okay, so if you haven't read the book, you have to read the book because I'm not telling you anything more about that. And if you haven't seen the movie, I, I don't know what to tell you. Keep the lights on. That movie is as creepy as heck. And hi. Oh, Jean-Marie. Debbie. Oh, Debbie, what a week, Debbie. Debbie, my partner in crime. Baker and Taylor, partner in crime. So, Pet Cemetery, yes. So, he also decided to write the book based on the ideas that we just talked about, and that would be a retelling of the 1902 short story, The Monkey's Paw. Now, listen, I know most of you read it in high school, The Monkey's Paw. Maybe you read it in college. It is a classically scary, creepy, crazy short story. If you haven't read it, it might be in the public domain. I know Lita. Hi, Lita. I love you, Lita. You're just the best. Anyway, this is sort of where I live in these horror books. And what was great was that as I asked all my colleagues, all my fellow librarians in reader services to give me one book, they didn't have to go crazy. Everyone went nuts, and it was just very hard. You cannot ask a librarian for one book because they're going to give you 10. So just be wary. It is a challenge to just come up with one book, and you'll see why I say that. The other thing is that King has gone on record stating that of all the novels he has written, Pet Sematary is the one that genuinely scared him the most. Okay, so you've been warned. But read it if listen, it's great and it's classic and it's just terrific. Okay, next question, because it's Jaws week. How you doing back there, Hammy? Are you okay? He looks pretty good, right? All right, he's holding his own. Here's what I worry is that as he runs out of air, he's just going to tip right down my basement steps. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Jaws trivia continues. Okay, question number 3. Author Peter Benchley, not Joe Vizo, although, if it were, we'd be having a different conversation and I'd probably be living in, Narragansett and having a different conversation entirely. Okay, author Peter Benchley had a cameo appearance in the movie. Okay, my Jaws people, we all know this. If you're a Jaws lover, you've seen the movie 27 times, you know who it is. Was Peter Benchley's cameo, where is his, well, I am keeping an eye on him, Debbie, because I'm going to show you. He's very close to my Capri Suns back there. So I'm afraid that little fin is just going to reach out and, so I am keeping an eye on him, Debbie, because that's where the Capri Suns are, as you can see. So hopefully he will keep his little flippers to himself. Okay. Peter Benchley had a cameo appearance in the movie. Was he a doctor, a lifeguard, or a reporter? That's I tried, Debbie. Like I said, after this week, I'm done. I'm so pooped. Was Peter Benchley, he has a cameo in the movie. Was he a reporter? Was he a doctor? Or was he a lifeguard? I'm going to continue then. You know where to put the comments. I'm going to continue with Shannon's picks. She picked some amazing picks, amazing choices. And every time I would get something from, oh yeah, that's a good one too. Oh, I should have thought of that. Oh my goodness. Okay. American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. Back in the 80s, 1987, this book came out. And remember yuppies? Remember what a yuppie was? Right? I'm like 110, so I know what a yuppie is. But Patrick Bateman, he is he has this sort of a second life, and he's a gruesome serial killer by night. By the way, I saw American Psycho on Broadway when they brought it to Broadway. It was amazing. I took my daughter, Julia, and we had quite a time. The show was excellent. I went to buy tickets to see it again and bring my sister and a few other people, and it closed. I don't know why it closed because it was fabulous and it was, yeah, it was bloody. I mean, it's play and it's Patrick Bateman. Anyway, The Hot Zone is 1999. That is the true story, the first emergence of the Ebola virus. And I'm just letting you know, you won't sleep at night if you read that. So you have been warned. Okay, so here we go. We've got our answers. Somebody said, Billy said a reporter, Jean Marie doctor. Who did Peter Benchley play? He had a cameo appearance in the movie. Was he a reporter, a doctor, or a lifeguard? And that's really funny because anybody else want to weigh in? Because I'm going to wait and see if somebody else says anything. I'm watching you, Hammy. He looks like, is it me? Or did he get a little closer? Did that fin just get a little closer to my Capri Suns right over here? Watching you, Hammy. I got to talk to the prop guy who handles Hammy's care. Okay. Reader Services Librarian, the book that scared the shark out of her, is another Stephen King book. Also, my daughter shared the same opinion. Stephen King's The Shining, 1977, scared the shark out of her and my daughter. It's actually King's third novel, and so 1977, and his first hardcover bestseller. So once that happened, everyone everybody went crazy, hair on fire. We got to go back and read Stephen King. If you could remember what his first book was, you might get extra. Yes, Mary Jean, Hot Zone. Well, yeah, because that's what it is. I totally agree. How you doing, Lita? Are you hanging in with all the scary talk? I don't look like the type to love these horror books and movies, but yeah, that's it. That's what it is. So his first book, and then his second book, and then Stephen King nails it with The Shining. And so this is Amy's choice. This is also my daughter's choice. And there's a couple of scenes in the book that involve hedges, and it's just nothing that would ever think could be possible to happen happens. It was so good. Also, even though Stephen King didn't like the movie version, I think the movie is awesome. Okay, what else do we have here? Who's this? This is Jill. Okay, the answer to the question is, Peter Benchley had a cameo appearance. He was the reporter. There's a scene where the helicopters are flying. It's after the little boy, Kittner, he's up in heaven. Anyway, so the beaches are closed. The mayor doesn't want the beaches to close, and they're all on the beach. And there's a man standing in the sand reporting live from Amity Beach, and that's Peter Benchley. And he looks just like his picture on the cover of the book or the back jacket. He's got the glasses, and he's standing there, and he starts speaking, and it's Peter Benchley. So, and because I am a nerd, I remember when the book came out, his picture was on the dust jacket. I guess that was the first sign. Denise. I believe you. I believe you, Denise. You got to read the chat to see why I'm laughing. Billy made me say lifeguard, Denise is saying. Okay, so the answer is that he was the reporter on the beach standing there, and it's great. And I recognized him because of the dust jacket, because it was probably an early sign of my librarianship. Or, uh-oh. I don't know who's doing refills in this house, but they're all outside. So, okay, next question. This is a great question because I did not know the answer to this, and I had no idea, even though I've seen that Jaws, the anniversary specials where they talk about all the ins and the outs of the making of the movie. I did not know this answer. Which actor was not considered for the part of Sheriff Brody? which actor was not considered for the part of Sheriff Brody? So we all know Roy Scheider got the part, Sheriff Brody. He's an iconic, he was iconic in the movie. He's in heaven now too, or we think. Which actor was not considered for Sheriff Chief Brody? Was it not considered? Was it Charlton Heston? Was it Jeff Bridges? Or was it Robert Duvall? So one of those three were not considered for the movie. Was it Heston, Jeff Bridges, or Robert Duvall? Which I didn't know, and I found that very interesting. Okay, now I'm going to do Jill's scary books. What did I do with it? Here it is. Okay. So Jill, her books. Oh, by the way, I think Shannon's books are on Hoopla, and I think all of them are on Overdrive. So, and you can start requesting books now, so that's a great thing because you can go in, place a hold. Between 1 and 5, you can contact us and ask for, a book, and we'll try to get it to you, which is great. So Jill's, so you can't ask a librarian because they're going to give you more than one. They're going to give you more than one book to read. Okay, but that's what's so great. I'm sure you're all writing these down. Jill says The Uninhabitable Earth by David Wallace Wells, which scared the pants off of me. Traditional, they're non-traditional in the sense that they're not fictional horror, but true horror. It's a terrifying look at global warming and a call to action. Marianne's here. Hold on. Hi, Marianne. That's Marianne. Love her. Okay. The Uninhabitable Earth. Truly a must read, but maybe have Capri Sun nearby when you do that. 1 second after. I love this book, and I love that Jill brought it up because I completely forgot about it. And it is actually 1 second after. This is from 2009. The U.S. receives a electromagnetic pulse that has been weaponized, and it's what happens to the globe 1 second after. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring this up. Just have you Capri Sun. We'll get right through this. And then, of course, everybody knows about I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, the Golden State serial killer who I don't want to tell you, so I'm going to cover that up if I could figure out how to do it. I can't figure it out, but okay, I'm going to not show you. So I'm just going to show you the cover. There it is, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. Fabulous, fabulous book. Keep the lights on. No, it has a reasonable ending. Everything works out. I don't know, it doesn't really work out, but you know what I mean. It's actually going to be an HBO special. I don't know when it's coming out. It's on Hoopla. It's in audio and ebook form, and it will be an HBO special. So, how you doing back there? You good? Stop getting close to my Capri Sun. Stay in your lane. Okay. All right. So what do we got? Jeff Bridges. The question was, which actor was not considered for Sheriff Brody? Charlton Heston, Jeff Bridges, or Robert Duvall? Here's what I learned, because I didn't know this, that Jeff Bridges was actually considered for Hooper. So he was considered for Brody, but then they were like, well, okay, you know what? He would be great for Hooper, and it didn't work out. But here's a little piece of trivia. The answer is Charlton Heston, because when they wanted to, I guess the studios were like, well, what about Charlton Heston? Steven Spielberg said, no way, because Heston he was at the time always saving the day in his role in previous movies. So in Airport 1975, he saves the day. And Earthquake 1974, who remembers Sense Around? Do you remember Sense Around? I mean, I am so old. I cannot even with this. If you know what Sense Around is, raise your hand. Yeah, Chris, yes. So if you don't, I don't know if anybody here is old enough to remember what Sense-Around is, but we got to see, gosh, I don't even know. Earthquake was in Sense-Around, and I think the Towering Inferno was in Sense-Around, and it was things would happen in the movie theater would shake, or you'd get this rumble. Look it up on Google. But anyway, the reason they didn't want to consider Charlton Heston at all was because he was always saving the day. And Steven Spielberg said, forget it. If I cast him as Brody, they know he's going to win. And I don't want people to know that he's going to beat the shark. So that makes a lot of sense. So Charlton Heston is the answer. And I didn't know that. And I have pages and pages. I mean, I could do Jaws trivia for the next however many episodes we have. But the answer is, hi, Angela. That Capri Sun. Happy Friday. Okay, so that was the answer for that one. And, oh, this is a really deep, deep trivia question. What was Chief Brody's secretary's name? This is how you know you're with Jaws nerds, because not only do we buy fancy sneakers that are personally painted for themselves. This was my own Christmas present to myself. I'm not even going to lie about that. How great is that? Like I said, if I had known Billy was that talented back then, I would have made him paint my sneakers, for heaven's sake. But what did Billy give us instead? That he will have to pry out of my hands. That. Look how great that is. Isn't that great? So you've got your great white. You've got, who knows what this guy was called. Steven Spielberg named him Great White. And this is Hammy the Hammerhead. And he's wearing his Shark Week 30th anniversary t-shirt. 30th. Is that crazy? I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. Let me just get past Sense-Around. Okay. So what was Chief Brody's secretary's name? Was it Polly? Was it Tracy? Or was it Amy? At some point, he is on the phone. I believe he's in the hospital, and he says something to the secretary, and I actually got that right because I am a square. I am a nerd. Yes, the shark's name, the Great White, Steven Spielberg did name him Bruce. So, Chief Brody's secretary's name, Polly, Tracy, or Amy? My husband is voting. Margaret is second. All right. Well, that wasn't the choice, Marianne. So tell your husband it's either Polly, Tracy, or Amy. That I think, according to the trivia quiz. So let's see, who else do we have here? We did Jill there. We did Amy here. We've got Shannon with her 2 picks, 3 picks. Pet Cemetery, what a book. That's okay. Hey, Marianne, as long as he's here. It's Polly, not Holly. I'm sorry. Was it Polly, Tracy, or Amy? And then I just want to talk about another librarian. Josh said that one of his books that scared the shark out of him back in the day were 2. One of them was Goosebumps, One Day at Horrorland. Now, what's interesting about Horrorland is that it's very similar to Stephen King's son wrote a book, Nosferatu, and it has a similar theme about a horror amusement park. And I'm telling you, that book scared the heck out of me. And so when he was a youngster, Goosebumps was the first thing. This One Day at Horrorland scared the shark out of him too. And now, because he reads a lot of graphic novels, he also recommended a Japanese author, Junji Ito, who writes a lot of these anime stories. And I will tell you, this was the most mild picture I could find because they are scary, very scary. So Junji Ito is probably considered the Stephen King of Japan, so you can check that out, but do it at your own risk. All of these books are do it at your own risk. Okay, who was the secretary? The secretary, oh my goodness, Marianne, you're perfect, don't change. Is it Polly, Tracy, or Amy? And the answer is Polly. So, yay. If you got Polly, you know what to do. If you didn't get Polly, you know what to do. We got something for everybody here. Okay, next question. My God, I have 2 pages of questions. All right, what time is it? 5:41. All right. What kind of shark did the bozos on the pier, right? They all decide, oh, we're going to go catch that shark. We're going to catch that shark. And they all go out like crazy men, truly. And they catch a shark and they bring it in and they put it up on the, whatever it is there. And they weigh it and they're looking at it and they're all, hey, we caught the shark. Hey. What kind of shark was it? Was it a tiger shark? Was it a mako shark? Or was it a hammerhead like Hammy? What kind of shark was it? Don't worry, Hammy. Close your, I don't know if they have ears. Close your sonar or whatever you guys have. Was it a tiger shark, a mako shark, or a hammerhead? So after everything happens with the little kitten boy, they all go out and they try to, fishermen, every Tom, Dick, and Harry goes out there and tries to catch the shark, and they catch something, and it's big, and they all, catch it, and they put it up there, and they want to take their photo up, and is it, Marianne, very good, Marianne, is it a tiger, a mako, or a hammerhead? So we'll get back to that in a moment. So when I was a kid, I read a lot of horror stories. I started out with my next door neighbor handing me a book from her own collection. She was an older lady, she spoke a little broken English, but she was Italian, and she lived about 2 doors down from me on 41st Street. And she said, she kind of waved me over, and she handed me a book. And it was a yellow cover, and there was a woman on the front cover, an animated woman, and she had a magnifying glass. And she said to me, the woman who was giving me this book, and my mother always took us to the library, but this woman was giving me this book. And it was a yellow cover, and the woman on the cover was using a magnifying glass. And the lady, the neighbor who gave me the book said, you might like this. See if you would like this. And I took the book home and I said to my mother, oh my gosh, look what so-and-so gave me this book. And it was my first Nancy Drew book. My first Nancy Drew book ever. This woman gave me to borrow. And she said to me, if you like it, there are more and you can come back. I think I read the book in 2 days. And I went back and and then I would give it back to her and she would give me the next book. So I really started getting into Nancy Drew. And then I realized that I could take my allowance money and go to the local, there was like a luncheonette that was nearby, and they served egg creams, and but it was also kind of a drugstore, and it was called Esther's. And so I would take my allowance money, and I would go to this store, and I would save up to buy the Nancy Drew books. But on the next rack from the Nancy Drew books, he also had all these comic books, and he had Tales from the Crypt, he had Weird, he had Eerie, he had all of these. And that turned my head, and I started then using my allowance money to buy these comic books. And we would take long trips a lot when we were kids. My parents would take us camping, and we would go to Rhode Island, and we would go out east, way out east. We lived way in the middle of Brooklyn, and we had to go, it was just forever. But these were the things that I would bring in the car along with my Nancy Drew book. Horror comics of the 70s. Now, I was practically a baby in the 70s, but so that's kind of what started my love of horror, the Nancy Drew book, and then reading all of these horror comics. And I was like, I have never seen anything like that. That is not See Jane Go books and See Spot Run. I'll tell you that. When I was in elementary school, this was not what I was getting in elementary school, and this just blew my mind. And then I started reading Lord of the Rings at a young age, but that's a whole different story. So the answer to what kind of shark did they catch? Everybody got it right who answered. A tiger shark. Yes. So you know what to do. All my tigers out there. And we can't find my tiger because right now this guy has sort of taken over our channel. So I think he's there somewhere. He might be underneath here somewhere next week. Oh, actually not next week. Next week is 4th of July weekend, so it'll be the week after, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so the answer was tiger. Yes. Okay, now Brody and Hooper decide to make sure that this is not the shark. The tiger shark that they just caught is not the shark that did the attack the most recent attack. So they decide they're going to go and do like an autopsy on this shark. I'm sorry. It's Jaws trivia. I'm sorry. A couple more Capri Suns, you'll be fine. They do an autopsy on the tiger shark. They find, iconic scene, a license plate, which proves that the shark was sort of traveling in the Gulf Stream and may not have been their shark. So the license plate that they discover when they do the autopsy, was it Florida, Louisiana, or North Carolina? Again, the reason I have these kinds of sneakers is because I got that answer right. And those Jaws buffs out there will know exactly what kind of license plate. So, Chris, if you're there, I'm sure you know the answer to this. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with our scary reads. If you have a scary read you want to share, it doesn't have to be horror. It can be anything. It can be a serial killer book. It can be a thriller, a story you didn't see the end coming, unreliable narrator, whatever it is, throw it in. I know Gone Girl really freaked people out. So, if you want to throw something in there, throw it in. Okay. The state license plate. Was it Florida, Louisiana, or North Carolina? And now I'm going to go through. Look at Debbie. I'm going to go through some of the books that scared the shark out of me when I was a kid. So the first thing I read, 1973, was a book called The Sentinel by Jeffrey Convitz. And it's about this New York City apartment building, but there's something wrong with this building, and it's located in a place that is just, it was an insane book. To these young eyes, it just scared the heck out of me. And the other thing about The Sentinel was, I wish I had saved this paperback, because when you opened up the cover, so you see the old guy on the cover there, but when you opened it up, so it has like a little cutout of the face, and then you opened it up and you could see the scary stuff going on behind. So The Sentinel, very, very scary. They made a movie of it in the 70s also, late 70s, maybe early 80s. Crazy because they don't have special effects, so they do everything very differently. And that grainy feeling was very New York City, 1970s, and Brooklyn, and it was very atmospheric, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Then in 75, I got introduced to Graham Masterson, and he wrote The Djinn, which also scared the heck out of me, the shark out of me. William Goldman, everybody knows him from The Princess Bride. Oh, that's great, William Goldman. He also wrote The Marathon Man. Terrifying. And he wrote Magic, which then later became a movie with Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins showing in 1976 his chops for being someone who's absolutely crazy, as we know from Hannibal Lecter. And then in 1974, The Exorcist came out. But I read my mother's copy when it was sort of really forbidden for me to read that book. And I found the book and I remember what everybody was saying about it. And so what I did was, bad girl, I swapped the cover. So she didn't know what I was reading. And I read The Exorcist. And I, listen, that book, that first scene when they're on the dig in, okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so those are my formative frights. See, if you ask a librarian for one, it's like if you give a peg a pancake, if you give a librarian one choice, she's going to give you more. Or he. Um, Mary Jean is saying she read Rose Matter, and that scared the heck out of her. Mary Jean, that is very scary. And Flowers in the Attic, Kathy, yes, because no one knows what's happening. I'm watching you, Hammy. I'm watching you. Stay away. If he moves, you have to tell me. So we've got we've got one choice, one vote for Tiger Shark's license plate. And the answer is correct, Debbie Jones, Louisiana. So let's hear it for Debbie Jones for Louisiana. That is a deep, I mean, maybe not a deep dive, but oh boy, is that good. Okay, so what else do I have here? Let's talk about Quint, okay, in Jaws. Right? Everybody knows Quint. Robert Shaw plays Quint. He says something very famous. He says he's going to catch the shark. He says how much he's going to catch it for. And he says, I'm going to catch it for this amount of money. And for that much, you'll get the head, the tail, blank. Does he say whole darn turkey? Now, he doesn't say darn. You know what word he says, but I'm afraid I'm going to get bleeped on YouTube now. Does he say the whole darn turkey? Does he say the whole darn Megillah? Or does he say the whole darn thing? For that much, you'll get the head, the tail, the whole darn turkey, the whole darn Megillah, or the whole darn thing. I know you know the answer. My kids know the answer because they say this all the time. If we say, do you want a piece? I'll take the head, the tail. But nobody, don't you worry, Hammy. No one's coming after you. You're safe here as long as you keep your fins off of my Capri Sun. So, what does he say? The whole darn turkey, the whole darn Megillah, or the whole darn thing? I may have given you a hint there. And then Stephen King changes things up for me and produces a book that I have read 3 or 4 different times just because I can't believe he gets away with it, and it's so cleverly done and it's creatively done, and it's The Stand. I never thought back in 1978 that there was such a thing as a flu that could do damage. So for me, it was fresh eyes on a situation that, okay, so he writes The Stand. And what I love about this is that I had already read The Hobbit and the first book of The Lord of the Rings. So when I realized, or when I read in an interview much later on, that he wanted to create an epic in the spirit of The Lord of the Rings, but he wanted to set it in contemporary America, I feel like I had found my people. So if you haven't read The Stand, there's been so many different versions of this. They tried to make a movie out of it. Some of them just failed miserably, and I think there is a new version coming out. And Randall Flagg is one of the scariest guys in literature because he is a bad, bad man. Okay, so what does he say? He says, for that much, you'll get the head, the tail, and the whole darn thing. Oh, Janet, Broken Monsters. That is such a good book. Yes, that is. She writes fabulous books. She really does, Janet. Good for you. Those are another things that you forget. She also wrote another book. She wrote Broken Monsters. What was the other book she wrote though? That was, I think it was my first exposure to her. I'm searching now because she was really, really scary, that book. Sort of a time travel serial killer. What the heck was the name of it? Hold on, I'm gonna get in there. Was it The Shining Girls, I think? Yes, it was The Shining Girls. That book is woof, suspenseful, edge of your seat, highly recommended. But I didn't put it on my list because I didn't think of it, and there's just so many that I read, and I didn't think of it. Okay, let's see. Here's one that everyone's probably going to know the answer. At the town meeting, when Quint shows up and they're all talking about who they're going to get to catch the shark and all these other things, how does Quint get everyone's attention? So he's sitting in the back of the room, and they're all the townspeople are bickering, and everybody's just being not pleasant. Yes, Shining Girls, that's it. What a great book. If you're looking for, listen, it's hot out there right now. So if you're looking for something that will cool you off and chill you down to the bone, just read The Shining Girls. That'll take the heat right out of you. Okay. At the town meeting, Quint gets everyone's attention. What does he do? Does he scrape his nails on the blackboard? Does he belch really loud? Or does he clear his throat to get everyone's attention? Now, Quint, Robert Shaw, amazing actor. What does he do? Does he clear his throat? Does he belch? Or does he scrape? Oh, I didn't say the last answer. What was the, hold on. Yes, he says, I thought I did. He says, for that much you'll get the head, the tail, and the whole darn thing. Maybe I didn't say it. I apologize. You know, it's a lot of work. I got to keep my eye on Hammy here, wearing that really cute Shark Week t-shirt. Look at that nice t-shirt he's got. Great. Oh gosh, 5:57. Debbie Jones says he scrapes his nails. Mary Jean says he scrapes his nails. It's an iconic scene. Everybody, they know it, Quint, for that reason. They know, they know what's going on. What does he do when he says offers to catch the shark? How does he get everyone's attention? Does he belch? Does he scrape his nails on the blackboard? Or does he clear his throat really loud? Now, everybody knows Quint. Is he the throat clearing kind of guy? No, he is not. Now, he could belch. I mean, people do that. He does do that. Billy, I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know. Could be a problem. He actually, yes, everybody is saying it. He scrapes his nails on the blackboard, and there's a scene where he just drags his nails, and everyone sort of closes their ears, and they make all kinds of faces. So, yes, he scrapes his nails on the blackboard. Like I said, we could have more than one episode of Jaws trivia. So next time I see you, which will be July, I don't know, I got the calendar wrong last week. So July 3rd, we're not having an episode, Lita. Lita, yes, see you Wednesday. I can't wait. That way I get to share, I don't have to share you with a lot of people. I get you all to myself for a little while anyway. That's what's happening Wednesday, July 1st, the book discussion. The next time I will see you all is July 10th, because the 3rd is the night before 4th of July. And please, everybody, wear your masks. Stay safe. Please, please, please wear your masks. It's very important. It's important for you. It's important for the people that you see. It's just really important. Yes, he scrapes his nails on the chalkboard. Remember, any book that you read, log it in to the website. Imagine your story. You could win a prize. You're not going to win. Yes, next Friday. That's right, Billy. Thank you. Next Friday, Sharknado, available on Hoopla. I completely forgot. Here it is. I have it on Hoopla. Yes, thank you, Billy. First of all, episodes 1 and 2 were just amazing. I mean, if you want kitsch and crazy shark behavior, you gotta watch Sharknado. It is just insane and fun and hysterical. Remember, if you're looking for something to read, go to Pinterest. We've got a whole list of things that you can check out. Upcoming, thank you to Shannon so much for that amazing graphic that you provided today. Thank you to our brilliant prop master, Billy, who designs amazing things like this. And here we go. And provides me with Hammy, who's probably getting a little thirsty right now. Also, thank you to Reader Services Librarian Jill, Reader Services Librarian Shannon, and Reader Services Librarian Amy. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your choices. I love having all of them here. We do kind of live in that, horror genre space. It's just, when you find your people, you find your people. Thank you also to Josh for contributing his choices. I am appreciative. Thank you, Josh, very much. And I will hopefully see you all. Oh, we broke the record at 6:01. Darn it. So have your beverages. Remember, if you're interested in curbside pickup, go look at our website. We will have that option for you. Remember my fabulous sneakers. There they are. Look at that. How great is that? And we made it to Friday. I didn't think it was going to happen, but we did it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here with all of the other choices that you have out there that you watch. The fact that you spent an hour and 2 minutes here is pretty amazing to me, and I am appreciative very, very much. Please be safe. Wear your masks. Merrick Library patrons, I love you so much. And reach out, get on the mailing list, and I will see you soon. Anybody can add anything in the comments before I go, because I'm just going to have another sip. So you have some time to add anything. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Debbie. Billy, you are just a rock star. Thank you, Shannon, Amy, and Jill. Thanks to Josh for the contribution. I'm glad to see Janet and Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, Mary Jean, and Marianne. I was so happy you were here. That's just awesome. Jean Marie, fabulous. I think I got Kathy. Going through Christy Cristofaro is here, so we were glad. Angela, and I got Marianne, Denise, Lita, fabulous. Love you guys so much. Michelle and Alexa and Emma, if you've stayed this far. And I don't know. I know I got Shannon. You guys rock. Just fabulous. Take it easy, guys. Billy, I don't know when you're going to see Hammy. I don't know when you're going to see your shark. No, he may stay in my yard with my... No, I don't even want to put him in my yard because he's too perfect. I don't want anything to change about him. All right, guys. I will see you soon. Remember, the next episode will not be next... It'll be on the 10th, July 10th. So watch out for the fireworks next weekend. Please be safe and wear your mask. All right. Mwah. See you all soon.